Anthony Zerker, North America reporter at Ozershire on Twitter. During his 2020 presidential campaign, Joe Biden promised to enact ambitious new programs and reforms, including on voting rights, healthcare, gun control, the environment and education. He reportedly imagined himself to be a transformative president, like Franklin Delano Roosevelt during the Great Depression, who could implement sweeping change and rescue a nation facing a calamitous crisis. In the first 100 days presidency, however, reality has set in. Most of Biden's big-ticket goals require the support of Congress. And while the legislative branch is controlled narrowly by his party, passage of the president's agenda is far from guaranteed. The Senate, one of the two legislative chambers, is unique among Western democracies in effectively requiring a supermajority to enact most major pieces of legislation. Derived from a Dutch word for pirate or freebooter in the 19th century, the filibuster, as it's called, has been a part of the U.S. political process since the early days of the American Republic. Only in modern times, however, has it become a common, and powerful, tool for political obstruction. Its critics revile it as an anti-democratic practice that can grind the gears of government to a halt. Its supporters claim it is a cherished tradition that encourages bipartisanship and prevents a rushed legislative process. After 20 children and 6 teachers were killed by a gunman at a school in Newtown, Connecticut, in 2012, a tearful President Barack vowed to confront the issue of gun control. That began a legislative process that included committee hearings, lobbying from interest groups, multiple policy proposals and, eventually, draft legislation. All this activity culminated 4 months later with 54 senators in the 100-seat chamber voting to advance a bipartisan bill that would require background checks on private firearm transactions, closing the so-called gun show loophole for off-the-books weapon purchases. In the U.S. Senate, however, a simple majority wasn't enough. Because of the filibuster, the bill required 60 votes to proceed. Obama and the gun control advocates were 6 short, and the bill was effectively killed. The Senate hasn't come any closer on substantive firearm legislation in the 8 years since. The American founding document sets out a number of instances when a Senate supermajority is required, in voting to convict impeached government officials, ratify treaties, pass constitutional amendments and override presidential vetoes. The authors left legislative voting rules up to the individual chambers. Initially, both the House and the Senate allowed its members to engage in unlimited debate on any subject. It didn't take long for savvy legislators to realize that they could use the rules to essentially talk a proposal to death, holding the floor until its proponents gave up and moved on to other business. All data is taken from the source. http://bbc.com article link https://www.bbc.com/news/world-us-canada-568939296 #Senate #news ABC #news today BBC #news today headlines #news today world #news today